Hi everyone, it's Dee here. I'm really thrilled to introduce you to Tina, our newest coach. Tina is a NASM certified personal trainer. She's currently getting certified in nutrition as well. And I really love Tina because she has such a warm personality. She's really knowledgeable. She's gone through a lot of her own experiences with health and fitness. And she's really passionate about sharing that with all of you guys and her clients. So I'll hand it over to you, Tina. I would love if you can introduce yourself and share what made you join the BBR.
Yeah, well, hello everyone, and thank you, Dee, for making me a part of this community. I feel like I've been following Dee and BBR community for so long, and just being a part of it, it feels great. It feels good to be able to impact other people's lives because I've had my own struggles. And yeah, just a little bit so you know who I am and why I chose to join this community. I was born in Bombay, India, and I moved here to Texas when I was 14 years old. And for most part of my childhood and very much into my late teens, I was always considered an overweight kid, and with a lot of hormonal imbalances, and coming from a family history of hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, you name it. I think a lot of the South Asian community in general can probably relate to that. So it's more on my dad's side, not my mom's side, but I've seen a lot of family suffer and being impacted through these chronic diseases. The first thing was when I lost my grandpa when I was just 2 years old. Of course, I don't remember much of it, but just down the line, I could see how that impacted the entire family. And then about 10 years ago, or a little over 10 years ago, my dad suffered a stroke, which he recovered from. But I think my journey started off as overweight teenager going through all these identity crises and not being able to be comfortable in her own body, to I want to have a good relationship with food and a healthy mind and a healthy body. So I think there was this transition that I went through, and it's been 10 plus years of my fitness journey, my own struggles with food, with body image, and all of that, coming to today where I kind of know how to embrace it all and being okay with what life throws at you, and being able to understand nutrition and fitness better. So I think because I had those struggles and I didn't really have that guidance or resources, when the opportunity arose that I can actually make an impact in someone else's life, I just knew that this is something that comes naturally to me. And just being in the healthcare field, when you see patients, I'm on the management side of healthcare field, but just when you see patients and talk to patients and how things impact them, I just know that there's an issue. It was not just me. There's so many others out there struggling. And if I can at least make an impact in a few people's lives, I would feel like those struggles were worth it. So that's why I'm here.
No, we're so glad to have you join our team, especially coming from a healthcare background. So Tina works in healthcare on the management side as her day job, and she's going to be joining us as a part-time coach. And it's just really cool that you have that perspective of seeing the clinical side as well as the kind of lifestyle coaching side. So tell us more about your journey. I know you alluded to a few struggles with your teenage years and learning to have a good relationship with food. What were some of the things you struggled with, and how did you overcome those?
Yeah, so when it first started, it was always so the reason I said I was born in India and I came here. So if people have lived in India, there are people that are very brutal about your everything, basically everything, your skin color, the way you look. And I experienced a lot of that when my mom took me shopping, because when you go shopping in India, you have the shopkeeper sitting there showing you the clothes, the outfits. And if I went to a kid's store, which that should be the store I should go to, they'd be like, oh, we don't carry her size. And then they would kind of mock my mom, oh, she needs to go to adult size. They were just little remarks that, yeah. And, my mom, she's impacted my life a lot, because no matter what other people said, for me, that this is her kid and she loved this kid no matter what, right? And she just didn't know how to kind of guard me when comments like that were made. So I think I never realized how it impacted me much later in life. As a kid, you just kind of grow up listening to it, and you think that's what it is. You feel like skinny means happy, because that's kind of the society is. You look at Bollywood movies, you look around, you look at magazines, and they're all smiling and they're skinny and their bodies are perfect, right? So I think that internal struggle went into like my late teens, where I moved here and then I'm like, I don't look like anyone. So there's that other more struggles coming through. And I started off thinking, oh, if I work out and I'm skinny, I'm going to be happy. And that's how the journey started. It's now when you think back, it's like, no, that's not right. So it took me some time to realize that skinny does not mean happy. And when I first started working out, I was obsessed with everything that touched my mouth. And just counting calories and not knowing what to eat, when to eat, and just restricting myself. And that's not a really healthy relationship with food. It's not good for mental sanity. It's just not a healthy way to live life, and for a long period, to sustain that for a long period. So I would go through these phases on and off and realize there's something going on. There's something more to this. This is not the way of life. And I think when I started educating myself more, kind of talking to more fitness trainers, taking classes, that there was that shift. And yeah, so I think those are the struggles. It's just that whole identity crisis and moving from a different country, coming to a different country, and dealing with all the body image stuff. So
how old were you when you moved again?
14.
Okay, so that's like right in the middle of when your body's changing.
Right? It's right in the middle where you have all those emotions going through, because no matter even if you don't have any, like if you're not overweight or not considered overweight, you still have like a lot of internal crisis, right? Like you're growing up and you're comparing yourself to those around you. So
yeah, that's so interesting, because I think we bonded on this over Instagram a while back, but I went through a really similar struggle around when I was 14 of just, I moved schools from an all-girls school to a co-ed school at the time, and I was moving to rural New Hampshire where there were basically nobody who looked like me at my school, and it really does impact your body image. And I went on a similar path of going on a very extreme restrictive path, and then years later, learning how to do things the healthy way.
Yeah, and I think and that's the thing, right? Yeah, we may not have started for the right reasons, but I'm just glad that we evolved and grew out of that phase. And that's what I always say, there's not a right or wrong way to start, but there's definitely a way of leading that life into a healthier future, of sustaining that. And that's when I think I wish I had that help. So I think that's exactly why we connected, because you were doing exactly what I would have needed 10 years ago.
So were there any like turning points where you're like, okay, this is not sustainable, I need to do things healthier? Like what were those?
I think there were many. So definitely my dad with a stroke, and then realizing that, okay, like this is more for my health. So there was that one little like, okay, this is not just my body image, but my health. Yeah. I think later down the line, going through graduate school, I remember sneaking in workouts between like classes, lectures, and labs and stuff like that. And then coming home and then worrying about what I was eating, then studying and then eating, and then, oh my gosh, I'm snacking. So I think like every year as schooling was going on, I was like, what is wrong with me? I can't go out and enjoy the food. I can't sit here and study and then figure out what I'm snacking on. So I think there were different turning points. I don't know if there was this one like major, but I think there were different things. And it comes to a point where you kind of figure out slowly. It was not like an overnight shift. It was slow changes. Yeah. I will say that once I got married and then started working and my schedule was completely different, I started gaining that weight. And I think it kind of hit me like, this is not sustainable, because what I did previously, I was restricting myself, and now I've gained that weight because I couldn't figure out a way of sustaining it for a longer period. So I think that shift just came in different parts.
Yeah. So after you realized you had gained some weight in the workforce, were you able to lose it more sustainably?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely, like I always say, not perfect right here, but the education part of it, and I think I started that's when like the whole certification part comes in, talking to other people, and then understanding the core problem, that it's not just schedule changes. It's also because I had restricted myself so much, I didn't realize how to kind of figure out of making that a lifestyle, right? So restricting your meals cannot become a lifestyle. It can be a short period, and then you will kind of fall off track. And I think it's just a way of figuring out.
Yeah.
So I did. I think once I
cutting out like carbs or things like that, or
yeah, exactly that. So I think when I started working, started getting the weight back, there was just, again, I think there was this one time where I was like going for an Indian wedding and realizing like none of my clothes were fitting me. And then I looked at the mirror, I was like, what have I done to myself? And realizing what the core problem was.
Yeah, which was an unhealthy relationship with food, or
yeah, it was the unhealthy relationship with food. Yeah.
I read this interesting quote the other day that was like, there's a difference between restriction and restraint. And I think that's really powerful because a lot of people, when you want to lose weight, yeah, you can't be eating chips and popcorn and candy and ice cream all day 24/7 and expect to lose weight, just eating that. But you also don't want to be super restrictive, right? So the word we need is restraint. Like we need some restraint around maybe hyper palatable foods, but we don't need to totally restrict them completely.
Oh my God, that's wonderful. I love it. Yes, I agree, because now I can actually go out, enjoy, and then because I know throughout the week I'm eating wholesome, balanced, nutritious meals. So when I go out, I'm not worried about counting those calories. You know, I'm enjoying it. And if I feel like I need a portion, I think I'm a little more mindful about how to portion out a plate, or like eating until I'm content and not just eating because it's in front of me.
Totally. So that's awesome. It sounds like you overcame some of your struggles through nutrition education, which is obviously something big that we do at BBR and one of our like core principles. It sounds like you also build maybe like healthier habits instead of just blanket restricting things. Were there anything else that helped with your relationship with food in your journey?
I will definitely say that recently I feel like social media has helped in a way, and connecting with people, like-minded people, people that have had their own struggles, and realizing that you're not alone. I think that really helped me. I didn't realize that when I started my my fitness, nutrition, my dance page, as I call it, when I started Fit to Frolic, I didn't realize how it would actually impact my life. And it kind of keeps me accountable too. You know, it's like a reality check, like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's happened to me too. So I would definitely say that's made a huge difference.
Love it. So transitioning to you as a coach, now what are some of the things that you enjoy helping clients with or people with?
I think exactly that. I don't think I realize how many people there are that are struggling with that relationship with food. Or I think I notice a lot more where they have this schedule and they're great when they're alone at home, but when they're going back home to their parents and getting back in that cycle, I've realized that it's become more of a painful situation for them instead of enjoying that moment. So I think my favorite moment is kind of helping them through those struggles, and knowing that you can still go on vacation or go back to your parents' place and enjoy. And that's my favorite moment, because you want to be able to enjoy life. And I think just being able to help them through that and navigate through that is my favorite part.
Yeah, I love that. That was something that used to be really hard for me, like visiting home, visiting my family. I remember one year I went back home for Thanksgiving break and I was supposed to be there for like a week, and I ended up cutting the trip short and I left early just because I was so anxious about food, and I like,
oh my God,
workouts, and yeah, it was not good. So yeah, I've definitely been there. I get the struggle with visiting home, and it's good that that's something that you love helping people with.
Yeah, like so my parents, after my dad's stroke, we kind of had to change the kind of food we're making at home, or just make some simple changes. And my mom was actually really good about that. So when I go back home, it's not as bad, but it's definitely not exactly how I would want it. And so I think it's one, it's also educating them and talking to them, because they do like the whole healthy aspects of it, and knowing that they can't make 100% change, but even if they add like whole grains instead of, you know, like refined grains, and just a few things that they can change, and not 100% of the time, if it's like 30 to 40% of the time, that's still better than nothing. Yeah. So I think that's kind of made me happier too, and it just naturally comes to me when I talk to them about it. So it's definitely been a little easier.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you. So when it comes to weight loss, what is one thing you wish all your clients knew about trying to lose weight?
I would say not to compare your journey to someone else's. I, because I used to think, again, skinny equals to happy. So when I saw like a uh, someone with their perfectly toned body, as they call it, and I feel like, why can't I be there? And then maybe blaming it on, oh yeah, my genetics or this and that. But that their starting point and my starting point is different, so I can't compare my journey to them. So I need to figure out what makes me happy. So that's kind of what I would aim for anyone, and that's the main thing with my clients is there may be so many people you're looking at, but just focus on your journey and own it and be proud of it. So.
Yeah, I love that. It's so easy to get caught up in comparison, like, oh, my friend Sally lost 30 pounds doing keto, but you don't know anything about her. You don't know what's going to happen in 6 months from now. Is she going to keep it off or rebound? Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, you can compare yourself to the skinny girls on Instagram, but you don't know if they're happy, right? They could just be smiling for the Instagram photo.
Yeah, I think you had shared something about your journey during the bikini contest that you
Yeah.
are.
I was the most unhappy. I was happy because I liked the feeling of like accomplishing a goal, but social wise, I had no social life. I had a really bad relationship with food. I wasn't, my quality of life wasn't very good.
Yeah, and I think that's what we don't, there's so much more beyond that one picture that you see, or something that when you're scrolling down and you feel like this person has it all figured out and they don't. So
Yeah. So kind of along a similar line, what is one thing that you see most people getting wrong about health and fitness?
the nutrition part. I know there's workouts, and yes, know how to also have a planned workout. But I think from what I see, I feel the nutrition part is where clients need the most help, because once you get started on that journey, you can get kind of sucked into that black hole and not know that it's affecting you. So definitely the nutrition component, and knowing how to portion out meals, maybe able to meal plan if you can fit that into your schedule. And I know this whole counting calories and not counting calories there's so much out there. There's so much misinformation out there. So I think being able to understand a little better and being able to understand like the protein that you need to get, and protein, carbs, fat. I mean, you need that to fuel your body. And people talk about low fat diet and low carb diet, which is know your underlying issues, make sure you're checking with your physicians about if there's any deficiency, and then also making sure that you're getting all the nutrients and the minerals that you need. So
yeah, I don't know why these diets became so trendy where you just cut out an entire food group like carbs or fat.
yeah, like that's not how your body's made to do. And if you go back historically too, I mean, your body's not functioning like that. It's not supposed to function like that. So how do you take your body out of that zone? And I definitely don't get it. And I know there's a lot of controversies out there and a lot of people trying to promote things like that. So it's just the misinformation, and the hope is BBR and the coaches and just the community out there being able to educate that.
Yeah. With the exception of certain medical conditions like PCOS, however, that may benefit from a slightly lower.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the blood work, everything is very important. So there's like your nutrition component, and just don't make decisions for yourself and restrict the food groups without knowing what deficiencies you may have, because you just never know how that may impact you in the future as well, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line.
Low fat, for example, fat is really important for healthy hormone function, especially for females. And if you're not eating enough fat, you might not be getting your period, for example, right? My hair might be.
I had those imbalances too, because I was restricting. It was my periods were completely off for a few years, and now it's such a big difference. Like making sure if you're working out, when I have a good schedule, it's so much more consistent and it's so much more regular. So yeah, absolutely.
Also, you guys, I know I'm drinking out of a red Solo cup. This is water. I promise you, I'm not drinking beer on this cup.
No, I do not believe that.
Oh my gosh, I'll show you. It's clear. See, oh, I just dropped some. I'm visiting my husband's office today, and that's why they don't have any like normal cups. They just have these Solo cups.
They have red Solo cups.
I don't know why. They're like they're just setting up their office, so there's not much furniture or anything. But cool. So moving on, how do you motivate yourself on the days that you do not feel like
So I have never regretted a workout. And so I think back and I'm like, all right, well, today I don't feel like it. Maybe I can go out for a walk for 10 minutes, or maybe I can choose a workout that's shorter. And I feel like 9 of 10 times I am able to go on longer because you get started and then you just have those, all your feel good hormones kind of kick in and you're able to go on longer. So I kind of remember that. And like I said, if I don't, it's normal, right? There are days where you have something going on, and just going on a walk outside, I think it just kind of instantly changes your mood. And if you feel like from a walk, you can turn it into a run, or you can do lunges, run, do a mix of everything. I just feel like just stepping out the door, fresh air, instantly changes your mood, and it gives you a break from everything that's going on in life.
The hardest part is just getting out there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I know when the pandemic hit, and my husband was home, but I wasn't. But I would just randomly tell him, okay, he was playing Xbox a lot because I think that became the thing when the lockdown started. And I was like, all right, if you lose this game, you're gonna give me 10 push-ups. If you win the game, then you're gonna do this. Like it was fun. So I think if you're able to kind of incorporate that into your lifestyle too, then it's not like a task. It's not like, oh, I have to go work out. It's like, oh, all right, I'm ready to work out, you know? So it's just those little changes. And it doesn't have to be 100% every single day, but maybe even if it's like 80% every single day, it kind of leads to, it has bigger impacts.
Yeah. It's really hard making a big health behavior change like working out, right? If you don't work out regularly, to go from 0 to 7 days a week, it's a lot. So start small, just do what you can most days, and just do the build up from there, right?
Yeah, find something that you will enjoy. If you have certain goals, then definitely I think in the future you can plan it out and figure out, okay, well, I want to be able to do 10 push-ups. I want to be able to do this much. But I think when you first start out, like you said, you can't just go from 0 to 10 push-ups. You have to go from 0 to maybe 1 push-up every day, and then, yeah, work your way up there.
Love it. So I know you post a lot of healthy recipes on your Instagram page. If you guys don't follow Tina on Instagram, you got to go follow her right now. Fit2, like the 2 number, Frolic is her handle. We'll link it down below. But what is your favorite healthy meal to make?
So my favorite meal is like taking all my leftovers and turning into a fridge bowl. So I know, it's like, what's your favorite? I just love, it's just something about like, so I always have like some kind of, let's say if it's like either rice, or sometimes I'll make cauliflower rice. I always have some kind of veggies. Sometimes I'll do grilled chicken or fish. So there's all this in the fridge. I'll meal prep, and then probably 3 or 4 days later, I'll like put it all together. I'll make a little salad, like dressing, or like a spicy dressing. And that's like happiness in a bowl.
That's really good.
Fridge bowl.
That sounds awesome. Do you put like, what kind of protein do you usually put in it? Like
so usually like grilled chicken, or sometimes if I have tofu, then I'll just quickly season it and air fry it so it has a little bit of crunch as well. The veggies that I'll have in there, usually I'll like roast some broccoli, sweet potatoes, zucchini.
That's really good. It sounds bomb.
Yeah, so it's like really nothing. Like it's just whatever I have. It's a fridge bowl. It's my leftovers.
Okay, so opposite of that question, what's your favorite more indulgent food?
I am a very much like a Bombay chaat girl. So you give me vada pav and pani puri, and I am a happy camper. But I'm also a big foodie, so I love sushi and Thai food too. So I guess I stay in that Asian community.
Yeah, Asian
Yeah, I guess like there's the flavors. I love the spice. I love all the flavors coming together. So
yeah, love that. We're working on I guess by the time this is up, we'll have released this, but we're making a healthy, fit, desi food guide, and it's kind of a bunch of recipes, and there's like a really good Thai soup in there.
Oh my God.
Really good. What was the other thing? The pani puri, there's a dahi puri, like with Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
There, so it's a little bit higher protein. And a lot of people, you can actually air fry the puris to make them healthier instead of deep frying them.
I've seen people do that, and I definitely need to get
Yeah.
on that. It's funny because I haven't tried it because all my
Me
friends ask me,
neither.
"Have you?" I was like, "No," because I don't make the chart. My mom makes it, and I go over. So she has it down, like her pani puris, her raga patties, just everything chart related. She has it down, and she's also born and raised in Bombay. So yeah, she's a true in and out Bombay girl, and I call myself the same thing. I mean, I think I'm a mix of both worlds, but deep down is that Bombay girl in me that wants all her chops. So
Is there
I'm
like
not
one
very
chat you like
sweet.
best?
Do what?
Is there one specific type of chat you like best? Is it pani puri or something else?
Pani puri and vada pav.
Okay, vada pav is
Yeah,
so good. So
so good.
good. Yeah.
So as kids, what happened is, I mean, yeah, when you grow up in Bombay, you see it like on the streets, right? But my mom would not want us to eat outside as much. So every Sunday, mom and grandma would cook up a storm. We would start off our mornings with like dosas and idlis. And then throughout the day, we would have like chats and like different kinds of like the street food. So it's just I think it's just a nostalgia for me too. Like it was like every Sunday thing, and I'm not much of a sweet person. Like I enjoy my cakes and brownies and stuff too, but the savory indulgent is what I'm all about. It's like a true like just good flavors.
I feel you. Feel you. Cool. So let's go into our rapid round. Just a few more questions. These are the fun questions. It's always my favorite part. What's a fun fact most people don't know about
Um, so I am actually a very adventurous girl. So I've been skydiving, bungee jumping.
you?
So
Wow.
I think when people look at me, they don't think.
I wouldn't have thought that, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So very much adventurous. I think as a kid I probably wasn't, but something changed at teenage years and beyond. And my husband's also the same way, so I think that also pushed me. So every time we go to visit a new country or a new place, we try to do one adventure. So the last time that we did something really adventurous was in New Zealand, and we did bungee jumping because bungee jumping was
Oh yeah.
born in New Zealand. Yeah, so that was like the last traveling.
Oh my gosh, my husband and I went there in 2019 and with a group of friends,
Oh
and
my god.
everyone else did the bungee jumping and I didn't because I was too scared.
I wasn't too sure about more of like your the lower back portion of it because people
When
are like,
you
oh
get to the bottom, yeah.
yeah, but I mean I'm okay and I didn't feel anything. So
Yeah. My
yeah.
husband did the like upside down. He like dove upside down because he was like, "Oh, I'm going to maximize my thrill."
Yeah, so I'm definitely a very adventurous. I've done like skydiving. I mean, all the other stuff is more like zip lining and kayaking and whitewater rafting. But I think the skydiving and bungee jumping is probably and paragliding, which was all up in the air, right? So yeah.
Paragliding is really cool. Cool. Well, if we ever do a BBR team meetup, we'll do some fun activities. I don't know if they'll be as intense as those, but we'll try and plan something fun for you. So next rapid question, do you speak any other languages?
Yes. So I speak Hindi. I read, write, speak Hindi because I was born in Bombay, so that was a part of our schooling too. I am I'm South Indian, so it's Telugu is what we speak. But because we were raised in Bombay, and my parents were also raised in Bombay, our Telugu is not very good. So I can understand Telugu. I can probably make do with Telugu. I also understand Kannada, and I understand a lot of other Indian languages actually, because when you're in Bombay, you hear a lot. So like
Yeah.
Marathi. So all the Indian regional languages I can understand and make do with.
My dad's side is Telugu actually.
Yeah, I know. Does he speak Telugu?
Well, I don't speak it, but I can understand it. But he
Yeah.
speaks it at home with his parents.
Yeah, my parents are definitely better, of course, but
Yeah.
even then, they're not. It's not very. It's like slang Telugu, and just because they didn't speak it as much either when they were in Bombay. So,
I hear you. Okay, last couple questions. What's your biggest pet peeve?
oh, recently, I haven't been to the gym, but when people don't wipe their equipment after using the gym equipment,
COVID, come on.
so even pre-COVID, I was always like really. It was my biggest pet peeve. Like, why? Like, you just have to clean up after your, like your home. If you clean up your dishes, and it's the same thing. So, Pre-COVID, of course, I was. And then when COVID hit, I was even more paranoid. And then I haven't been to the gym in a very long time. I just do home workouts. But yeah.
Yeah. Favorite brand of workout clothes?
I actually do. There's like this female-owned company called Zaya Activewear.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're
So
repping.
I do rep them just because one, it was started by a few fitness moms. It's a smaller
Oh,
company, and once I tried their products, I was really happy with just the fit, the support, and the
I
comfort.
bought one of them with your
Oh
code.
yeah,
I
that's
got like
right.
the crop top. It was really cute. I think I got a size too small, but it was still really cute.
Oh really? Yeah. So and they are a smaller company, so I feel like their products are evolving over time too. So there are times for the certain sizes where I feel like, oh, this isn't like match, but I really like that quality, and it has sustained me for a long time. I also Under Armour and Nike are also like two others that I go for. And then of course there's times where I want to indulge a little more, and Lululemon leggings are amazing too.
I've tried buying some Amazon dupes. I found a couple Amazon dupes that are like pretty close to the Lululemon line, but nothing
Yeah.
seems quite 100%.
I think it'll make do, but you may have to, it'll not last you that long. So I think if people are like okay with
I
spending,
don't feel like the Aligns last that long either though, because
no,
they
really.
pill in the like the center area, but that could just be me like wearing them too aggressively or something.
And
And
I
it's
think
technically
that's
not supposed to wear them while you work out, which is so crazy.
yeah, and I feel like I go from like scrubs to my workout clothes, and that's like you will see me living in my workout clothes. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm one of those that doesn't make it last as long as it should be, but it is what it is. I love my workout clothes.
Okay, last question. What's your favorite beverage, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
So if it's alcoholic, I like a good Moscow Mule. I think it's just really refreshing.
Mhm.
Non-alcoholic, I mean, water is my go-to. I drink water.
Water. You can't say water for this question.
Yeah, no water for this question. I like smoothies, so I guess you can call that a drink. I like experimenting with smoothies a lot. It just gives me a chance to like put in the veggies and fruits, and just for my husband too, it's just easier. At least I know he's got some sort of veggie intake. I know like eating a meal is different. I know it's like a little kid at home. Make sure he has his veggies in. So yeah, I like experimenting with different smoothies. Sometimes it doesn't taste that great, so like I just have to kind of figure it out. But yeah, I enjoy
You're not a big veggie person? Does he not
it.
eat veggie? Your
He's
husband?
he's not. He needs his meat. He likes it, but I feel like there's not that effort of like eating veggies with his meals. So I feel like at least he had a smoothie a day. He has some kind of veggie intake. So yeah.
Awesome. So that was all the questions I had for you. Is there anything else you want our BBR community to know about you?
Oh, I think I talk a lot, so I feel like I just poured my heart out there, and I just hope that I can connect with more people, and I just hope I can impact more lives out there, and just happy to help the clients.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we can't wait to have you on our team and getting started with coaching our clients. If anybody wants to work with Coach Tina, click the link below. We'll also post your information to our Instagram page. So you can definitely follow that, and feel free to send her a DM if you want to get to know her better. All right, and bye everybody.
Bye.